Welcome to another episode of Not For The Weak Minded. In 5 minutes time my birthday will be over, and today I was 34. No longer am I 33. So if I actually did do videos with myself in it and accidentally do some signs and symbols, can't be called a bloody Freemason. Oh, he's 33 years old. Anyway, it's not about that. Grandmaster. So this article is about how smart dust could be used to monitor human thoughts, and it's more than 2 years old. I can say it was from 2016. No, this one's 13. So a few years ago, a team of researchers from Brown University made headlines after they successfully demonstrated how a paralysed woman who had lost the use of her arms and legs could control a robotic arm using her brainwaves. In the video, Kathy Hutchinson imagines drinking a cup of coffee and the robotic arm brings up the cup to her lips. The scene is amazing, but also a little disturbing. Hutchinson is connected to the robotic arm through a rod-like pedestal driven into her skull. At one end of the pedestal, a bundle of gold wires is attached to a tiny array of microelectrodes that is implanted in the primary motor cortex of Hutchinson's brain. This sensor, which is about the size of a baby's aspirin, records like there's different sizes of aspirin, records her neural activity. At the other end of the pedestal is an external cable that transmits neural data to a nearby computer, which translates the signals into code that guides the robotic arm. This method, known as BrainGate, pretty much defined state-of-the-art brain-computer interfaces at the end of the last decade. If the idea of a rod-through-the-head computer interface makes you cringe, you're not alone. For some time, a small team of researchers at UC Berkeley has been working on plans for a less invasive wireless monitoring system. Earlier this month, they released a draft paper, Neural Dust, an ultrasonic low-power solution for chronic brain-machine interface. Don Jin, CEO, a graduate student in UC Berkeley's Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department, authored the paper under the supervision of senior faculty members including Michael Maharowitz, Jewish, who famously created cyborg beetles for the US Defense Department. Holy moly, I mean this topic about nanotechnology and animals and them trying to save the world is massive. It is huge. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go into it. I need to do other videos, but it's their plan to destroy everything while they replace everything with their own technologies, nano bees and etc., and everything runs on smart sensors, and it's going to be a grid system, let's call it that, right? So CEO said the researchers' goal is to build an implantable system that is ultra miniature, extremely compliant and scalable to be viable for a lifetime for brain-machine interfaces. With neural dust, due to its extreme scalability, this framework can be applied for Obama's Brain Initiative, right? Which necessitates large-scale parallel and real-time monitoring of neurons, CEO explained. The Berkeley researchers propose to sprinkle the brain with tiny dust-sized wireless sensors. You're already infected. This would reduce the risk of infection from wiring up scores of sensors placed throughout the brain and limit the trauma to one initial operation. See, the things they do is the things that technologies can do is amazing and can be beneficial, but at the same time they are creating and have created technologies which are certainly not. And the implementation of nano smart dust in our brains And everyone being affected right now is certainly not a good thing when other devices have been designed to control you, literally control you. You know, not just think about what you're thinking, but literally control your thoughts, control your free will. During that operation, the skull would be opened and sensors would be inserted into the brain, of course. At the same time, a separate transceiver would be placed directly under the skull, but above the brain. There also, I can show you articles more recently, that they have also got a chip that they've created that can also go in the brain and is a efficient interface. So it's all about interfacing with us, which is technology that they're using. And all the time I'm trying to say to you that the reason why they can do this is because you are artificial intelligence. You are technology. Yourself. A wonderful piece of engineering that they are messing with, they have messed with, they have made us ill, and now they are literally using us to destroy the earth and at the same time create their own abominations, which will be spread across the earth. And this involves nano sensors, people, and your brains. So the transceiver would communicate with the sensors via ultrasound. This is how it works. So there's the long-range transmitter on the surface. There's the RFID microchip in your hand, and then there's which stores memory and data processing, and is the battery. And then you've also got then the subdermal chip, which they implant, which is another part of the chip, the RFID chip. That's probably is the RFID chip. So there's two chips probably, one that goes in the top of the hand, one that goes in the bottom of the hand, and then the spreading of nano smart dust within the blood vessels, your network, which is obviously then going to send signals to your brain and control your thoughts, right? So another battery powered transceiver outside the skull would receive data transmissions from the chip inside the skull and supply wireless power to it. Please see that the artificial intelligence that they've created is actually creating global warming. You know, it's not global warming, but you must see that, you know, the artificial intelligence is doing it. You know, geoengineering on a massive scale, global scale, with artificial intelligence, because they've mapped the earth using the perfect circle, people. So as the paper notes, this type of power transfer is already used in a variety of medical applications, including cochlear implants. CEO said the amount of power being proposed is within FDA and IE guidelines. Ethics is out the window, people. A long time ago, we can talk about that, but it's a different video. It's too much. The idea of neural dust immediately sparked the imagination of futurists after the paper was published on July the 8th. The brilliance of this system is that it could potentially allow scientists to see what's going on with thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of neurons inside the brain at once, and every single individual at the same time, wrote Ramez Naram, a senior associate at the Foresight Institute and author. More than human, embracing the promise of biological enhancement. We got downgraded for a reason, and that is something that you need to understand about why I did the last video, because there was consequences for our actions here on Earth, and there still is today. But would neural dust have practical use for the growing industry of mind-controlled computer games and brain training applications? John Cohen, founder of Neurotech, is dubious. Neurotech's peak achievement training has been used at the US Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, as well as at other Olympic centers from China to Norway. Neural dust doesn't have much practical promise because of the surgery it would require. Cohen said, "I don't think they'll find too many people that would volunteer for it." Excuse me, but these things are so tiny that they can go through your bloodstream into your bloody brain, and you don't think that You need you need surgery? Sorry, you just got to breathe it in. So Cohen noted existing ways for measuring brainwaves that rely on external sensors may be crude, but they're effective enough for today's applications. We really believe this is a practical system, and more importantly, we think this is potentially a powerful framework for achieving what Obama had announced. You know, the Brain Initiative. CEO said. Still, he pointed out that the paper is a draft. It's a concept paper, he said. It's not a concept, it's been designed. This is an old article, trust me. It's a theoretical study of what we think is possible in the realm of neural recording. By publishing the paper on blah 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 online collection of preprints of scientific work, the team is hoping to spur involvement and feedback from scientists in different fields, and I'm sure they did. Lots of challenges remain to be overcome before neural dust will be ready for live testing. How right? I wonder. Anyway, that's it. Basically, I'm just showing you this one article by Forbes. Are not exactly trustworthy, to show you that the Nano Smart Dust interface system of nanotechnology is a feasible for one, and to be honest, it's been developed and spread across the earth through geoengineering, which is why I'm telling you that everyone is infected with it, and that we shouldn't take the technologies, because that will be the end of our civilization. Please share, like and subscribe.